Okay, hey collective, this is going to be a blackout reading. And this is about those individuals basically that you've already separated yourself from. Okay. They're being faced with their own mirror. And this reading is more about how and why they're being forced to move on or they've been forced to move on. Part of it is also that you won by keeping your peace and saying peace to those people. And it's basically when it became undoable, like when you had the irrevocable thought, when you said, I will not take this person back, or I will not, be this person's friend, or I will not, whatever way you remove them, it's irrevocable. You couldn't allow them back in. Your spirit just wouldn't be able to manage on that vibration. Like you can't exist on that. It would literally make you sick to your stomach, right? And that's probably like the energy that they breed and carry. It's like a sickening energy. Now, you also could not bring them if you tried. If you attempted to help them, you would even miss your mark, okay? And it's because they're neurologically challenged. They're just completely unable and ill-equipped for the new world. So that's a huge part of it too, is the difference between 3D and 5D. There's this whole shift that everybody's talking about. So let me get into those notes really quick. Now, this shift or people have been calling it the New World Order, or like a new you, or, the whole new world, or the shift that everyone has been talking about is the world is actually splitting into two different dimensions, okay? The conscious evolution of the entire planet is what is taking place right now. So that's a lot of the reasons why these people are coming to those self-actualizations or self-realizations, is because that conscious evolution, you can see the difference between the two. So that's the only reason why people are even more aware of your energy or more aware of your transformation and so on and so forth, because they're absent from it and they're having their own experience that's calling them to do what you've already done, okay? So that conscious evolution of the entire planet is taking place right now. You've heard all the past people talk about, or you may have heard people talk about, like, we're living in the time of revelations and yada, 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 or that we're in a matrix, etc., etc. Now, the reason why that speculation even exists is because the answer ultimately to all of that we're in a revelations period. Okay, yes, if that's how you're looking at it. We're in a matrix. Okay, yes, if that's how you're looking at it. Those are the eyes that you're looking at it from. Because in reality, it just depends on who and where you are in your process of this shift, Some people, started cutting people off last year, and they're really finding themselves like with nobody around them, It's only the individuals who have not acknowledged that shift, who had not acknowledged that change. So it's depending on who or where you are in this shift. If you're already aware where you exist in this, then this change cannot be thwarted through spell work or people maneuvering things or trying to manipulate things, be it you or other people or any of that it just doesn't affect, right? It can only take place if your heart, and that's because the transformation can only take place if your heart is as light as a feather. If you've already been in that loving energy, focusing solely on love of self, love of other people, etc., etc. If you are still looking at the past and in an energy of like realizing, where you went wrong, you are not a part of this shift. You are not going to the 5D. I think that's what people misconceptualize right now, is that they can do something about this change in any other way than working on their own healing. Like that's literally the only way. And I don't even know the separation is a separation, right? So there's no existence of the two anymore, because once something separates, it's almost like molecule energy. Once something separates, you can't forge back together. If that makes sense, it should. Now, the reason why it takes this energy of a heart as light as a feather is because the heart is how you weigh the quality of your character, right? Have you been holding on to people or places or things that do not serve you? Mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually? If your solid answer on that is yes, this is how you know more about the quality of your character. So if someone's holding on to a past relationship, like wanting something from the past to come back and forge back together, you are not a part of the shift. Because the shift is when you went through the process completely of healing and letting go of all of that. So again, I'll repeat myself. If you have not let go of those people, places, and things, and you have not severed your, mental connection, emotional connection, physical connection, or spiritual connections with these people, if you haven't separated from them, you're not, if you still have toxic people in your life that you're dealing with on a day to day, if you're still having drama like pop up, you know what I mean? Not like drama that you're actually in, not people calling you trying to drag you back into something, but drama that you've actually created, that's the only, basically it's the difference between the new frequency and vibration. And the difference is that one is of love and the other is of fear. People are in fear of losing, people that they thought they were supposed to be with. Oh, that's my so-and-so. That's my soulmate. That's my twin flame. That's my this. That's fear. Love doesn't exist like that. That's why some people are going to come to the complete realization and understanding that they literally do not have a twin flame if they feel like they've been in a twin flame dynamic that's with somebody that they want to leave behind, or that they have left behind, or that, that's just the reality of it. If you're not trusting that the divine is in control and that the forward movement that you're making to the new person, the new places, the new things, all of that. If you don't have that motivation, if you're looking at anything from the past, you haven't gone through that shifting of fear out of your life. Now, this shift can make you very emotional, especially if you are not on that high vibration. The high vibration is like unshakable, but if you have, this is mostly karmics, to be perfectly honest. The karmics are going through this shift that makes them feel very emotional, very confused, very heartbroken, because the past is not valid anymore. There's no validity in anything that happened. Literally, if I drop this, candle that's in my hand right now, once I drop it, there's no going back. It's that kind of energy. The gravity thing is coming back into play. Like, I don't understand why people, didn't wake up, but that's what's going on with them. They're very heartbroken, because the past is not valid anymore. And that's why everything and everyone has already been cut off from you. Those who haven't cut off those past connections are the ones that are staying in that 3D and loop it is, and not moving into the 5th dimension. It's impossible to exist there for these past people because they have to have already transformed in their mind, their heart, their soul, and by actions, okay? If you've already been focused on what the divine has shown, like if they had already been focused on what the divine has already shown them, these people have already been shown. And it's like, but now they can't, you know what I mean? The shift is already taking place, so that it's kind of in your face energy. So now they're just sitting there looking at everything from the past, trying to turn back time, if you will, which we all know you cannot do, right? There's no back to the future, right? That's illusionary. So the divine has already shown those people and places and things that do not serve them, but because they have not connected, because they have not disconnected already or cut contact with those individuals, that's what's keeping them. They can't go until the old person that they used to be and the new person has already active and alive and living and doing things. You can't be in any part of your past if you're in the place to be going into your future. You understand? Like, even if you're in the process of moving out, you don't live at the new place until you have your new things there, right? So even if they're mentally seeing what they should change and knowing what they should do and how they went wrong and all the rest of that stuff, it's only because they're realizing they need to move. That's where that is. It's like you cannot do that, and so they cannot realize that where they are is in a bad place until they're actually looking at themselves and these things, and that's what's happening. And then they're still, focused on the wrong things, right? They should be focused on what the divine has already shown them about the people, places, and things that do not serve them. Again, they have to cut their own contacts. It's not like the shift is already here, okay? And you can't fake this too. You can't fake this because the energy of the 5D individuals, it's because of that whole, death to the old you and the new person is being born, we're in the process of labor. The water has already broken, right? You've already got the contractions, right? You're in the hospital bed, okay? The head is crowning, okay? And it's like we're at 3 centimeters. That's where they are, right? Realizing that, okay, the baby's coming. You're already at 5 centimeters. You're already past that. You know what I mean? How many centimeters is it supposed to be too for the baby to be fully crowned? Let me check that out real quick. I think it's 5. Oh, it's 10. Okay. So yeah, but I feel like there's that whole energy of 5, and then it gets multiplied because everybody comes into all of their divine connections. You know what I mean? It's like you multiply because you're in this new world. Okay. So it automatically dilates to 10 centimeters. And I think that's about when they start to bring you from one space to the other, isn't like at 5 centimeters. That's when you might move into the like birthing room, or I don't remember. But it says that, you can go from 6 centimeters to the full centimeters, just during in that active stage of labor. So the collective is in that active stage of labor. Wow. Wow, this is amazing how that connected. Okay. So, you in this energy are very peaceful. Okay. You have a different focus, right? And they can't fake that. They're not peaceful because they have all this fear about all of the things that they haven't addressed with themselves. If you haven't, like people that are actually on the right road, they've already been meditating. They've been meditating. They've been listening to binaural beats. They've been eating differently. They've been treating people differently. They've already made amends with anything or anyone that they needed to make amends with, and so on and so forth. So for the collective, being that you've already done all of those things, you've made amends with whatever they could tell you. You've made amends with whatever they've done, whatever tactics they've been using. That's why your spirit won't allow it, because there are no words and there are no apologies that would change how you view them. You can't see them the same way because you aren't the same person. There's no explanation that will cause you to view them any different. It's just not on the vibration. Like it's not even in existence. That's literally what's happened already, and it's too far from who you currently are. The energies, the communications, it would just fall on deaf ears ultimately, because it's that same energy about like only the new connections can exist because the past does not. As soon as I drop that candle, it has fallen. Okay, it's irrevocable. Once my hands slip the grip, it's irrevocable. That's where they're at. Just like they can't take back anything that they've done, you also cannot take back them. It's the same energy. It just works differently because of the vibrations. And you won by keeping your peace and saying your piece too. Okay? Yeah. Now, that's a lot of the how and the why that they're being forced to move on. It's like not even something that you're in control of. It is a vibrational, energetic, worldwide shift. There is a complete shift. And if you have not balanced your chakras and know what your feelings are and why you're feeling them and all this other stuff, and it's like there's just no way through this. Unfortunately for them, they cannot go. You couldn't bring them if you tried. It's almost kind of like it would end you to could reconnect with them. And you know that because it brings you back into that 3D loop, karmic cycle, right? And that's why I'm saying anybody that's holding on to any energies of wanting a past person back, you are not making the shift because your energy is too agreeable with a reconciliation of past people. And I'm not talking about past lives, because those past life energies that we've met before as this 5D force, I want to call it, this that has already been established. That's been established spiritually this whole time. That's why the conscious evolution is taking place. That's why people are saying, oh, we're shifting out of the matrix. Oh, we're in the revelations period where everybody's going to realize and blah, 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 blah. These people are literally just observing that take place. And there's nothing you can do and there's nothing anyone can do about it. If you weren't, they can sleep through it, like they've been doing, right? Because those are the people who are not awakened. That's the card that came out. It's like, take a nap. Yeah. Um, wow. I said, truth be told, that was the card that just popped up. Okay, I'll pull out a couple cards just to further clarify this. Yeah, these people feel very orphaned. They feel like I said, they feel lost and alone and abandoned. And it's because they are. That's a part of the process of cleaning up. Unless you're sitting amongst your own mess, everything that you've, put out there, which is karmic debt, right? Until you're sitting upon your karmic debt, you will not be forced to clean it up, right? And in addition to that being looked at as like feeling this orphan energy and being forced to see how you need to clean up your life or your attitude or how you treat people, etc., etc. That's that fork in the road that these karmic energies are at. Yeah, and then the time for a nap and never ending story also came out again. So it's like they need to, maybe rest and meditate and like get ready for this never ending story, which I'm understanding is this 3D life of karmic lifestyle. Like while they watch you, if they so choose to be focused on that, change, I feel like time is in your hands. Like you have everything, in the palm of your hands. Happy. Oh, wow. More on that happy. All right. Yeah, you're going the distance. That came out in the pre-shuffle too. You're going the distance and you're very blessed in this. You're very blessed in this. Ooh, and it's giving that energy of like all the things. It's going to be better than you imagine. That's what I just saw. Yeah, because you had the ability to kind of like get rid of everything and chop wood, like make it happen. That's what they've been observing you do. And they didn't realize that was the cycle and the change that actually allowed you to be able to go to this new world, to be able to escape the matrix, to be able to, be living in this new existence, That's, the reality of it. Maybe one or two more, please. Okay. Yeah, you did everything by the book, right? You did everything by the book. So just breathe. Like I said, if you can solidly say, I left behind all those things. I don't have any attachments to them. I don't want them. I don't feel the need for them, and so on and so forth. All of those things that you know were holding you back. Wow. Wow, and it's to be fair. See, the fact that they have to sit in this observant energy and just like see you in your shift, like you're also seeing yourself in that too. Like everybody's kind of watching, everybody around them, right? To see who's, really in this serendipitous energy, and to see who's, constantly having to like take all these deep breaths and go through all of these, negative emotions that, be in this off balance energy even. Anything else from this deck? Yeah, this land of milk and honey. That's what's upon the collective. Oh, no place like home on the bottom. I'm going to take that one too. The soulmates card is here as well. It's penguins. They mate forever. Maybe there's someone who was feeling like that you were their penguin, that you would mate forever. But it's kind of like, no, people only mate forever when they're actually made for forever. It's just that these people were never meant to go. They were never meant to be, a staying, a constant in your life. They were never meant to be that. They were only meant to be the catalyst. Yeah, because the mending card came out. And the next card on the bottom says, not for you. Yeah. So, it can't get any clearer than that. The higher power is calling for this change in the wind, all these enchanting gifts that they think and feel like, you have, that came from the higher power. The God in you. I love singing that song too. Regeneration. Yeah, they're on this like, them and whoever follow them are on this like catastrophic kind of thing. Oh, there were some other notes too. But those were about autistic children and how like the connections between children with any type of like spectrum situations, or just overall what's happening is this shift. So it goes down, right? It trickles down, right? Because it basically starts at whomever decides to heal these generational curses. So the individuals who decided to heal these generational curses and work through these connections and work their way out of these connections as well, those are the ones who essentially have cleared the path. And those relationships with those nurturing parents of the children who have any type of learning disorders, or I'd even say any behavioral issues too, because when you heal, your child heals also. So what we're going to be seeing now more recently, more what we're going to be seeing now is that people with autistic children, they're going to be on the same vibration, because more people are realizing, those things that I've mentioned in my previous readings about how this energy was sent here, this loving energy was sent here to create that. There's also going to be like I said before, it could help with, mental disorders, because they're all demonic oppressions. So essentially that's what the healing has done. That's why the work was required, to be in this, in a Hierophant is the number 5 too. So be in this 5th dimension. The 2nd dimension is the High Priestess, and the 3rd is the creation and nature, the Empress energy, and 4th is autonomy. So this 5th one is that Hierophant energy. This is where that all, again, sometimes, things move in the order that the divine says they do, and it's going to always be at that Hierophant energy, because that's, the tradition. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's called for, and it just so happens that it's the 5. Wow. So I feel like anybody's still stuck in that 3 and 4D who, the Empress Emperor, trying to fight over that energy, they haven't really figured out, their creative nature and like how to nurture things. They haven't figured out that autonomy. So they weren't able to move from the 3D to the 4D to the 5D. Okay. So they weren't able to move, because again, if you're doing this solo, or if you felt like you had a twin flame, you guys should just be mirroring the same exact healing at the same exact time, but separately, right? So you would have been in the Empress energy at the same time. You would be in the Emperor energy at the same time. If not the same time, then at some point in time, right? Because healing is not linear. So it's like at some point in time, you guys did all of that work, right? And that's why the counterparts meet in the 5th dimension, because they don't even exist. They can't. They're too powerful for it. Yeah. Yeah. It's the only cards that came out are a fork in the road. Like, these people are literally at this fork in the road, and that's really their own challenge, That's for everybody to go through. And that's all we can really understand, because essentially we see everything as we should, The Observer card came out again too. We see that we've done everything by the book, right? So that's how we know without a doubt we're not in the wrong space or frequency or vibration, or that we could be, somebody could try to stop your death. It's like, what? That can't happen. We did everything by the book. That's the only reason why we're even being allowed there. And we chopped that wood. That came out too. And then the last card here is time to go. So I'm going to repost, I'm going to put in my community section this video that has like a bunch of different pieces of information on this from a bunch of different people. And I think that it's really important to kind of see all of this in one group, because it's a lot of the stuff that I've already communicated in my readings. And it's a lot of, like, there's a lady named Carrie that's in there, and she's getting deeper into that. But the first part of this segment from this girl called Just Jenny, it's all about this shift, about the 3D to the 5D. And if you're not in this spiritual being and, knowing how to correctly use your energy and not manipulate circumstances, or not try to manipulate circumstances or people and things like that, then, you're just not equipped. Again, it goes back to the reading that I did a little bit earlier. And it was just all about the facts of the matter of, you cannot expect to even know where to show up for an audition if you ain't even in the dance studios. You got to be in the dance studios to know what's hot. Did you see Fame? Because that's coming to my mind. Like, you had to be in there dancing your heart out. Like Leon, is that his name? I don't think that was his name in the show. I don't remember. But you had to be in there dancing your heart out. Let's just say, like, because Fame was in a school. So they were at the School of the Arts. You had to already have been at the School of the Arts to even know where the audition would be. These people don't even have the connections. They feel like you're their connection, but you're not. The only connection they have is with the divine if they want it. It's up to them, right? But I feel like a lot of people are under judgment already. Their souls are being judged, and that's what they're feeling. That's the only reason why they're looking back, is because maybe you, collective, are the one that they did the worst. So maybe that's why in this awakening, it's hurting them so much. It's so obvious, it's a constant everyday, feeling of regret, feeling of loneliness, feeling of this, feeling of that. It's everything that they took for granted is now being missed, because when you take things for granted, you miss it. Like, let's just say, okay, put it into layman's terms, with money. If you took for granted a really big check and blew it, I mean, everybody's been there where they've been like, damn, I shouldn't have spent as much, or I should have saved, or because that's a learning block. It's a building block to that Page of Pentacles energy, right? So essentially, you have to go through that. There's no way to learn it. Nobody can heal you but yourself. People can help you, but they can't help you if you're not in the right vibration. Like, we are all moving forward in the 5D to continue each other's healing. Like I said, the autistic children, people with mental disorders, or so to speak, right? People with obsessive compulsive disorder, right? Things that they couldn't wrap their head around, but that didn't change them into being someone that was nasty or mean. Now, granted, if there are people that stay in that low vibration, that have these issues, if someone is bipolar but doesn't have a loving heart, because it's not like, someone has to go and scream at people, or has to go and do this, or, you know what I mean? If they're not able to even see their own emotions in front of them, like how they're behaving and things like that, it's just the consciousness of it. The consciousness of it. These individuals aren't conscious of themselves yet fully. They're conscious of maybe what they've done to other people, but they're not conscious of who they actually still are. And that's what blinds them. That's what blinds them to this access. It's that whole, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It just doesn't, it's not how it works. It's just not how it works. So that's all I saw that was really resonating with me, like fully. It's like, oh yeah, that's why these people are, so hard pressed, so strung out, so, feeling emotional. Think about it. When you went through your dark night of a soul, did you cry, collective? Was it disheartening? Seeing how your relationships were ruined? Seeing how, your emotional instability, regardless if you were being nasty or a pushover, right? It doesn't matter. It's all about whether or not you learned that lesson yet. And it's not just one lesson. That's the thing. It's like these people's third eyes are completely calcified. Like it's got the, like, I don't know, it's everything layered on top of it. It's cement, it's flint, it's, lead. It's everything is blocking these people's third eye chakras because they refuse to believe. They refuse to believe. That's really what I saw. In that being happy was actually going to be purposeful and useful. Yeah, they didn't realize that being happy in the here and now was the way to kind of send out, I even feel like it's a signal, or send themselves out to sea, like put themselves on the journey, if you will, towards their highest self. They didn't see that. You saw that. You were like, okay, I'm gonna keep my peace. I'm not gonna invite anybody into my peace. So don't make that mistake, collective. Remember, these words are important. Do not invite other people into your peace. They need to have it themselves. But again, that's a lesson you already learned. So there was one of the ladies that was speaking in this group of videos on this specific topic. So if anyone wants to say that I'm crazy, then it's a lot of crazy people out here. Because everybody sees this shift taking place. Like, it's not just my communications, I'm one person, but I'm a part of the collective, so it's on different, streams of, everybody's talking about it. I don't know. I guess maybe they thought you didn't see that. Like, you're crazy. Like, no, not so much. Crazy about making sure I get to where I'm supposed to go, ready to take a mofo out if they trying to get in the way. But then you got to the point to where you realized you didn't even have to do that. Oh, look, came right on out. You and your soul tribe think alike because the thinker card came out. That's where you learn that energy of thinking again. That's why the higher power is connected with you and a part of your soul tribe the way it is. Yep. And that's why everybody's going to be moving into this dimension, this new dimension mending things. So it looks to me like there's some, like, I don't know, the number 52, it could be 5, it could be 2, it could be 7, and take it how it resonates. It could be 7 minutes, 7 hours, 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years. I don't know, just take it how it resonates. In your spirit, like how far you are on your journey, what you've learned. If you feel as though you've been able to let all these things, people, places, and things go, and if you can, solidly say, and I'm not talking about like, oh, well, I haven't started, eating as healthy as I'm supposed to, but you've started it, right? You've already matched your vibration to even desire that. You see what I'm saying? Your vibration is already matching the desire to be in that. So you're already on your way. You just have to increase the things that you're doing. And from my understanding, the download that I got is that you'll be able to put out anything that needs to when that time comes, if that time comes. So you may not be required, to never have McDonald's again. That may not be, McDonald's might not even be a thing, to be perfectly honest. Wow. People don't understand too, your energy is like, how do you remain poised yet flexible? That's the really thing that's really the thing that's bugging them, because they're trying to figure this out, but really they need to go within. Stop trying to figure things out and go within. Talk to yourself about yourself, not about what you did to other people, but some of these people can't get out of their own heads too. Yeah. And you're in this treasure bound energy because you're so peaceful. You're like, it's like nothing, you're just watching everything, and I feel like that's how you've been for a while. Maybe you were even watching these people, try to penetrate your energy, try to get back in. You've just been kind of like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing today. That must mean I'm a block closer to my goal today than I was yesterday. The serendipity card came out, and a leg up, got you to this point where you're between worlds, right? And you're just being told to breathe and just move on right on through it. Like, go with the flow energy. Go with the flow, because the round and round energy is what will take you back to that regeneration. The round and round energy is always going to lead you back to some consequence. So you got to remain focused on your treasure island is what it's coming out here. Like, don't worry about your time. You know that you've already let go of that. So truth be told, you don't need to be worrying about what you need to clean up. You just need to be focused on maintaining the habits that you've already put into place. And the reason that this is so, let's see what that's saying. Oh, it's so that you can co-create. Yeah, that's how you're co-creating. Oh, I love this. So that's what everybody's seeing too, maybe, is observing, or that's what you're observing too, or maybe seeing more fluidly is like, oh, I'm just co-creating. Building blocks right here too. I just said that in the reading earlier too. Building blocks to this happy, where one world doesn't affect the other. So you're definitely between worlds, but that's perfect though. Like, that's perfect. You want to not be in the old one, right? You want to have already let it go. Let it go. Yep. And just keep imagining what's coming forward. Because essentially, like I said in the reading the other day, as this healing process is taking place, you are supposed to be imagining. You're supposed to be imagining exactly what you want. You're also supposed to be imagining what's in the present. Like, okay, for tomorrow, it's keeping it very simple, sweethearts. It's very much a kiss energy, the sweet nurturing, because the mending energy is out here. Yeah, that's what's happening right now, is that healing is happening for the divine connections to be fulfilled. Wow, that message in a bottle from a loyal heart that you became entitled to on this journey. Because here's that when you went out to sea energy, when you got in that boat and were like, okay, I can leave it all behind. Yeah, that no place like home. Nice. Wow. This is so awesome. I love this. I love this really, I really do, collective, because everyone in the collective has worked really hard to accomplish these goals, right? You haven't been so stuck on it being one person, right? That you couldn't let go of that idea. Like, you are comfortable in saying, okay, focus on me, and in the new world, everything is going to be presented right in front of me. Yep. Everything that I've cleaned up, everything that I've, worked so hard to remove, I'm going to see it. It's no longer going to be an imagination, You're just in that motion confidence moment, like in the Chariot card. After you've passed that fork in the road and you made your irrevocable decision to go to the left or the right, basically to go away from whatever was not for you, that's when it all went upwards and onwards. And again, these people went so far in the wrong direction. Yep. And all they can do is just watch you, while they sit in their own chaos and conflict if they want to, there's not any opportunities either, like that whole leg up. So like if they're looking for you to help them, that just further proves to the universe, like, if I need this person to help me heal, and this person was good for me, and this and this and this, if they're still in that energy, that's that energy mimicking, like, they haven't went through the Empress and the Emperor energy. So some of these people may not even have been any queens or kings in the upright, to be perfectly honest. You know what I mean? So it's like that's where they're struggling at, is because they're probably in the reverse energies. Okay. So that's also why these people are stuck in their chaos and conflict, is because they keep looking for a leg up instead of just taking the opportunity to, do it by the book and, remain poised. I feel like they're under pressure, but I don't feel like there's anything that, anyone else can do about that. If they, because the unfinished symphony card just came out. So I feel like if they end up in an unfinished symphony, it's only because they chose to no longer work on the song, and that's really all it is. It's not, it's not your tune. It's not, you can't play it for them. None of that. Like I said, they had to have gotten their behinds up and went to the classes to even know about the audition to get ready for, to even be picked for one of the last, one of the 12 who then go on to perform and become judges. Like, it's just, they're just so far away from it. They haven't even been in the school of New Earth. They haven't even been there. They haven't been cleaning up their mess, their spirit, their energy, Yeah, so I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form. And I'll catch you on the next one. Later.